Do I even need to tell you how good this game is? I haven't even taken off my headset from like playing basically maybe three, four drops. So that's like roughly about an hour and a half, depending on like how long I was staying. I think I stayed as long as I could for two matches. So that's like almost fully 30 minutes. So like if I stayed for the whole time, it would be adding up to 2 hours. But like realistically, you can't do that all the time. This game is amazing, and this is the exact moment. Like I think you missed it, where I got that blueprint that I just immediately threw it in my safe pocket, which is this game's grace item collection gimmick that it has for these extraction. I don't know, like I'm still new to these extraction shooting games, and I'm glad like I started with this one because I'm gonna get into it. The community is amazing, and they're also treacherous. Like sometimes they'll pretend to be good guys, and then they'll shoot you in the back. Like it's very eye-opening. Like you can't have um, your guard down. Like and you'll see it with like every other player. Like they're all asking you like on like out of the blue, like are you friendly? Are you cool? Are you like good? Whatever, right? Like do you need anything? And it's usually to scope you out to see if like you are one of those villainous bad guys and stuff. And in this game, I think I've shot at maybe multiple people. Like as I was with my friend once, and then like I think when I first got the game, I just did it for fun. And the guy yelled at me, called me a rat, and I just felt bad because it's like I had like such a shitty gun. I like did no damage to him anyway. So like, damn it, this is like a fight I'm definitely gonna lose. So I went out and I got the cosmetic. Oh my god, this soldier! Like the cosmetics in this game are so intense. They're so detailed. Like you could take off his helmet, his mask, his all his pads. Like I don't want to, but like you know what I mean. He has like a flower on his like left ankle for some reason. I just took that off because I think that's just gonna give away my position. It's just like has this like waving thing and stuff. You want to like be as still as humanly possible. You see it for a second there, like the flower just like popped up, but like tried to like blend in with the forest, or in like those installation not installation, I think it's called night raid, and then like you have to get these keys for the locked doors. I haven't even actually gotten any of that. Like I have no clue how to do that. And I hear it's like a pure PvP fest. So that's actually where I got killed. Some guy was like down at the train tracks, and he's like, "Oh, I need help," and I ran down there, and then boom, got killed. I got killed like a bunch of times. Like I got killed when I walked up to these people and they saw me with a rattler. I'm like, why? Because it's like a new weapon or something. I don't know. It's a weird community, but like the best thing for you to do is keep your distance and like roll with like a strong posse of friends. Well, like the problem is my friends, like a lot of them got this game on release. So actually, it's funny because like one of my friends actually has both Marathon and Arc Raiders like me, but he plays Marathon more. Like he has like literally, oh my god, like 200 plus hours in on that game. He's like 97% done with his trophies and shit. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, like I'm one of those guys like who plays games that I don't try to like get all that like extra collectible stuff, and it's just busy work for me. But it's pretty impressive because it's like sometimes you do play games a lot, and then like out of the blue you'll just for some reason get a platinum trophy. Like for me, it was Risk of Rain 2. I'm like, huh? I didn't know I was getting a trophy. I was just playing the game. Logged in like three, 400 plus hours, probably more. Because on my PlayStation, when I transferred a lot of games from my PlayStation 4 to my PlayStation 5, the hours that I put in like didn't like properly translate. So it's like for Armored Core, it's like I'm a noob. For Elden Ring, I'm a noob. For some reason, like Neo 2 transferred over, but my save file won't go over. So it says like played like you know 100 plus something hours. I think it's like 400 actually. It's ridiculous how much time I put into these games, but it's worth it because when you see games like this, right? And you've been down this path before, like the collectathons, the gun crafting, the survival horror mechanics. Like you've seen them all before, but when you have them all put together in such an amazing package, like Arc Raiders, like you don't feel slighted that much when you lose a gun, because if you have the blueprints for them, you can just make them. Or if you go on missions and people request supply drops, these supply drops could come in and drop pretty significant weapons. Like I actually got my sniper rifle blueprint off of it, which is pretty amazing. I haven't actually used the sniper rifle on people because I'm trying to be a hero. You don't get any points for that. You actually get points for killing other players. Like you'll get, rep and I think money or something. I don't know. But you also like, level up, get XP and everything. But for defibbing people, maybe if they're your teammate, you'll get experience. But defibbing absolute strangers gets you nothing. But that's not the point. The point is like this game is all about the community. It's all about the people that you meet and play with and the interactions that you have, and like making someone's day by saving them, even though like you could argue that like they were gambling by taking all these like important items or whatever, or maybe they found something and they gotta head back. So go topside, get the goods and then get out in one piece. And you're gonna see one of these playthroughs. It's pretty intense. Like literally every single thing was against me. I was all alone. The clock was running out. The level was full of arc. And literally at the end when I die, I'm like on my dying animation. Like you actually take a while to like get KO'd. Like I'm just crawling towards the elevator and I press the button and it saves my life. And I get to keep all my items and stuff. This game is amazing, dude. Like I can't believe they actually went that far as to think about like a clutch, you know. And it's funny because it's like I don't think I should use that word, but I don't mind if I do. You know what I mean? But it's like like a word that's mostly for the young people. Like this game is growing on me. Like the community is both like it's actually a lot of older people too, but like the community is absolutely utterly amazing. Like they'll give you items if you ask for it. They'll trade with you. They'll like help you take down robots. They'll even give you salvage. Like I had a lot of people asking like, do I want to salvage this? Do I want to salvage that? And I'm like, shoot it with my pea shooter. What am I'm not gonna say yes to that, but like they don't see it that way. They see it as like I'm here for the fun. I'm here for the moment, the thrill of war, and like taking these monsters on, these robots. These things are insane. Like you see me playing very carefully right now, and you're probably thinking to yourself that like, yeah, I can't be that bad. No, these robots will follow you upstairs, inside of buildings, and they have pinpoint like the robots, right? But they the accuracy and the ability for them to kill you is second to none, right? So case in point, one of the matches, and I felt I felt bad because I took my modded out sniper rifle and everything. I had like an attachment on it that I don't have. Oh, I do have the blueprint for it, but I have to upgrade my gun bench to craft it. Plus the materials, it's just bullshit for me. I might as well just craft the other like mods that are like require cheaper parts, or maybe like it's just me and I need to find like areas that have more weapon modding stuff, because like you'll understand like the basics of this game is like this. You get plastic parts, which are basically for your shields. You get rubber parts, or is it rubber parts for the shield? I don't know. No, yeah, plastic parts for the shields, rubber parts for something else, and like metal parts for ammo. And then you get like a bunch of items that you find in the world that you can either recycle and turn into like base components, or they can use to craft other things like special grenades. Sometimes you need them for unlocks on your benches and stuff, because they require a specific type of resource. For me it was the toaster, right? So I got the sniper rifle blueprint. I'm like, oh boy, I can't wait to use it. Okay, and now I need all use a toaster, just one. I've spent like 2 days looking for the toaster, and I'm not like angry or sour about it, but like you have to prepare like ahead of time, like do your homework basically type shit. Where like the example I gave you was the toaster, right? You're only gonna find that in residential areas, and There's only two in the 6 maps that we have. So most likely other people are searching for those toasters. So this game has a very cool way of showing you that like things are looted. Like again, I'm new to these things. Oh, this is the clutch mission, right? Like, look, the timer's run out. I'm just pressing the button. Like I have no health. I'm like crawling. Yeah, pretty intense. Pretty intense. Um, but yeah, like yeah, about that toaster. So most likely other players were looking for it, and they'll like loot, these areas, and you'll see the shelves are open, like the fridge doors are open, boxes and crates are pried open, and like again, I'm new to these extraction shooters, but it's kind of cool that like you don't have to run through a room and be like, oh, press every like search every chest and like whatever like item thingy. Although to be honest, like a lot of RPGs technically don't have that problem outside of like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, where it's just a collectathon because it's like you don't know if the next item that you're gonna get, like that you're missing, is just so much more important. It's just like some item on the ground or some item in a hidden area that you missed. Like in this game, the good stuff is hidden, but it's also like up for grabs, and that's the biggest pull of this game because I want to get into the PvP. I really do because I have to cut my teeth on it some like eventually to get used to the whole dynamic and there's a curve in easier difficulty when facing human players versus computer players to an extent, but there's also things that human players are much better at, and especially like if they're pros at this game, like you need subterfuge, you need to like cloak, hide in the shadows and stuff, lay traps, snipe. Like the disparity between like the weapons that you get starting off, which are the gray weapons, like the Pharaoh that I'm using right now, and like the Rattler or whatever machine gun. It's just the disparity is woefully apparent. And like these games are meant to like have that like kind of progression where you're gonna get a gun and it's like your level 1 gun, and then you can get like the next class of weapons, and they all have Italian names. All the maps have Italian names on it. Everything's just so fancy and all that stuff. The storyline is like in depth, but it's also like it leaves enough up to the imagination to like make you think like, what if these are, like these far off like things that I'm thinking about are like, what happens if like aliens hack the robots and they're using it against us to wipe us out? Because like that's their way of like fighting and shit, and then like eventually you legitimately have to fight against like actual aliens and shit, and the only way to like beat them is to use like homegrown weapons, like weapons that like you're always using, and then like you fight them and you'll probably like take some weapons off of them. Like the the amount of ways that the story can go in, like what happens if it's other humans, right? And then like how many different like paths that it can take. Like they say that this game is going to last 10 years, and I fully believe them 100%, 100%. And I'm going to tell you the number one reason why. All right, no hate on Marathon, no hate on Marathon. Playing this game is a dream. It's like the second you press that launch button, the most I've ever waited in a launch for a launch was like something like 2.5 minutes, and that was like once or twice, maybe once. Well, yeah, once. Other times was like just over a minute or something like that. And the reason why is most likely it was like a connection thing, but every other time, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, boom, you're in. No problem with the fully packed lobby. Everybody's chatting it up on like their headset if they got them. People who don't, they like chatting it up on their like emote wheels and stuff. Don't shoot, don't shoot. Everybody's just chill, man. But of course, you have the rats, which make the game worth playing because let's be honest, it's the ultimate rush. It's the ultimate high to like not only be the bad guy, the antagonist, but also to claim, things that aren't yours. That like, case in point, right? there was this player. I don't know why. I think it was a rat though. Like the term rat is someone who likes to shoot people in the back and steal items and stuff. And oftentimes they'll like appear friendly and this and that. And that's like the whole dynamic of the game. That like that's why most players are on edge because the second they see somebody right and they're a rat, they'll just call them out. And then there's like I don't know. I think there's an online hit list or something like that. It's pretty interesting and in depth. So not only are they on this like bounty list or hit list or something like that, but players will specifically go out of their way to hunt these players down. Like that's their whole purpose, their whole goal in this game. So they have their work cut out for them. It sounds like kind of ridiculous when you think about it, but then when you really rationalize, like it's not that bad. It's like basically like literal revenge. Whereas like in Marathon, everyone was just expected to be shooting at each other. In this game, like the allegiances are either you make them and like I think like you'd honestly benefit by playing this game by number one having like a controller where you don't have to constantly mash the L3 button. I'm gonna make a separate video about the L3 R3 debate that I'm having with basically myself, but also like I want to like really shine a light at these companies and their malpractices by making like non Hal effect joysticks that you're pressing down the joystick on this button, but you need this to move. So like eventually with the tear on like the joints, it's all like whatever, but I highly recommend that, but I also highly recommend that headset. If you can talk to people in this game, not only will they trust you more, but it's also a great way to like coordinate attacks and you know just be really, really, really like good at this game. Like I think the top level of playing this game beyond like the whole shenanigans with like everyone just like rolling around and like shooting each other and stuff is like the mind games that you can play with people. If you get like a sniper rifle or something, and there's so many spots. There's so many spots that you can peek out of and snipe, right? I'm just like practicing on robots, which for a fact that like you don't get these games to be like super uber nice all the time. Like eventually you're gonna have to cross that threshold and realize that like the beast, the demon inside you is awakened, and you just gotta go let it loose. And at the end of the day, like people, even if they are angry at you, like they know what they signed up for. This is what they signed up for. Like if they didn't want that, they could have played Monster Hunter. Like you can grief each other in Monster Hunter, I guess. It's like that those kinds of experiences that'll actually be kind of interesting. In Monster Hunter, like you just like turn on your fellow hunters and shit. No, I'm just joking. I got Monster Hunter on the head, on my brain because this is like, and I actually pointed this out to like one of my friends. Like this is like playing Monster Hunter with guns. Like all the robots, the Ark, they have specific weak points that you have to damage individually, and a lot like Monster Hunter, you have to break them down. And some of the tougher ones, just they're extra spongy, extra crispy. But you know, you have this game, you play this game, you're gonna be having a good time, man. Well, I'm glad that you stuck around and listened to my review. You probably like this game already, but if you needed confirmation, oh yeah, it is that good. I'm gonna be playing it again tonight.